We're not going to stop global warming. We've raised the temperature a degree, and stopping short of 2 degrees is going to be a huge trick. But we can keep it from getting worse than it has to get, I think is the best one can say at this point. 3 degrees would be much worse than 2, and 4 degrees would be exponentially worse than 3, you know. I don't have any, utopia to offer here. We have a dystopia to avoid, and that's about as good as we can do at this point. Well, one of the things that's changed in the last couple of years is the temperature. It keeps going up, and every time it goes up, every time we have this insane weather like we've been having, it helps more and more people understand where we are and what the reality is. And so that's really a crucial part of all this. We've just come through the weirdest summer in American history. It's no wonder that people are a little more open to paying attention. The wonder is that somehow it hasn't penetrated our kind of political class, you know. None of our presidential candidates have been all that engaged in thinking about climate change. Mitt Romney hasn't said word one about it except to make fun of it at the Republican convention. You would have thought that the warmest month in American history, which was July, or one of the worst droughts we've ever experienced, or harshest wildfire season, some of that would have caused people to comment. But you know, if you're in the under the sway of the fossil fuel industry, which our entire political system is, it's easier just to shut up. 3 important numbers. The first one is 2 degrees. That's the one thing that the world has agreed on about climate change. Conservative governments, China, the EU, even the United States agreed to say that 2 degrees is the most we should raise the temperature. We've already raised it 1 degree, and that's melted the Arctic. So that gives you some idea why 2 degrees is not going to be any picnic. But this is the one thing they've agreed to. Second number, 565 gigatons. That's how much the scientists tell us, that's how much carbon we can release between now and 2050, and have some hope of staying below that 2 degree line. Not a guarantee, but some hope. So 565. Third number, 2,795 gigatons, or 5 times that number. It turns out that's how much the fossil fuel industry has in their reserves. They're determined to burn it. It's what sets their share price. It's what they borrow money against. That coal and oil and gas is still physically below ground, but economically it's already above ground. It will get burned unless we figure out how to stop them. So that's the challenge, and it's laid out in as pure mathematical form as one could imagine. And you can look at particular companies. I mean, Exxon alone has 7% of the carbon it would take to get us past that. Exxon, one company with like 10 guys on the board of directors, has 7% of the power to break the planet, you know? That's just wrong. Look, one would expect that denial would be the deepest in this country because we're more addicted to fossil fuel than other people. And so it's not surprising that it takes a little longer to wake us up here. The rest of the world, this isn't even a debate. Everybody knows what's going on and they talk about it plain as day. And most of the world, it's not a partisan issue. You know, when the Conservatives took over the government in Britain, they, if anything, were criticizing the Labour government for not having done enough on climate change. It's only here that we've allowed it to become a political football in that way.